Good evening, everyone. It's August 2nd, 2019. I'm Eric. I'm here at the Free Thought Project. There's a few headlines I'd like to hit with you, and then I have a tab open about a study recently done. So, of course, in my previous video, I covered in part how the FBI is now classifying conspiracy theorists or theories as domestic terrorism threats. So there's that. Another blow to freedom. Judge rejects serial rapist cop's appeal, upholds unprecedented 263-year sentence. That's not really adequate. He should have been dealt with in a different way, the straight way. Texas cop attempts to shoot dog, shoots and kills innocent sleeping woman instead. Now, recently another cop tried to shoot another family's dog, and the bullet ended up hitting a 10-year-old boy. So, and this seems to be happening quite frequently, a little too frequently if you ask me, but who did? I'm not going to hit the political shit, the Tulsi Gabbard shit. You know how I feel about politicians. No matter how good looking they are or how free they think they're going to make you, they still aim to roll over you. So I'm not going to talk about that. And the next one is actually what I'm going to cover in full here in a moment. Big Pharma admits measles outbreak and subsequent media hysteria made them massive profits. And if you really think about it logically, probably a lot of the times where they start talking about mandatory vaccinations and all this other nonsense, people are going to rush and buy or get these damn vaccines. And then the whole thing goes quiet until the next time. And it's all to sell Big Pharma's products. Cop investigated for alleged steroid rage during which he broke his own canine's leg. Isn't that nice of him? And that's the problem with cops on steroids. Anybody on steroids, really. Okay, this next one is particularly disturbing, and it happens a lot more than you think. Cops joke and laugh as they kill handcuffed innocent man who called them for help. He actually called them for help and ended up being killed. And this happens more than you think they do. Or it does, rather. 79-year-old grandmother sentenced to jail for feeding stray cats in her own backyard. Can you believe that shit? 80-year-old, close enough to call her 80-year-old, grandma goes to jail for feeding the damn neighborhood stray cats. Like I told you in my previous video, more laws make you less free, make the system more authoritarian, and put more people in jail. Cop goes to innocent family's home, shoots man through window, lies about it, and he's not fired. How's that? Pretty nice, huh? Bored cop plays Russian roulette in a patrol car, shoots into traffic, not fired. And there's nothing you can say that can produce a good enough of an excuse for that cop to be doing that. Period. Cops ignore woman begging for help as a dozen men, damn it, as a dozen men harass and dump water on her. Isn't that nice of them? Isn't that great? Same with the so-called man. New York Fire Commissioners call for new 9/11 investigation, citing overwhelming evidence of explosives being used in all three buildings there at the World Trade Centers. A cop sentenced to prison after video showed him beating an elderly nurse. What is it with them beating elderly people and harming children? And it just seems like they like to go after the weakest people. Somebody threw a birthday party for a pothole to get it fixed, and it worked. Of course, the government ignored them for a while before that happened. Cops choke and kidnap innocent man for selling water on the street. And of course, I talked about that in my previous video as well. Former police chief gets no jail for helping convicted rapist's son escape to Mexico. And Facebook has delivered a serious blow to police accountability groups because they call them a threat and have taken these groups off of Facebook. Isn't that nice of them? Isn't that just great? But the one I was going to talk about here is this one. Bad apples rotting the barrel. New study shows police more likely to use excessive force if they watch the bad cops get away with it. And let's see, who's the author here? Matt Argus. And this is on the Free Thought Project, by the way. Study shows when cops see peers get away with beating people, they're more likely to do the same. When most people, police apologists specifically, talks about the bad apple theory in policing, they refer to the single rapist cop or the one loose cannon who shot and killed an innocent child. However, they always leave off the second part of that, and that is the apple spoiling the whole barrel, and the barrel literally included. So an extensive study conducted by Northwestern University on Chicago police brutality shows how irresponsible leaving off that second part actually is. When good cops see bad cops do bad things and get away with them, those good cops will start doing those same things as well. We're basically studying the process of the bad apples rotting the barrel, said Jason Gravel, who co-authored the report with Marie Aulette, Sandra Sadaf Hashmir. I'm not sure. Their last two are foreign names. I have no idea. Actually, the last three. So I'm going to go ahead and get down to the nutshelled version of this here. When residents become cynical of the police, they tend to withdraw from contacting the police, the authors wrote, adding police cannot do their job effectively without a working relationship with the community. And the more people they kill, the more kids they molest, the more crimes they commit, the more innocent people they harm, people just aren't going to want to deal with them because, they may end up dead too. But the study looked at thousands of Chicago cops, and their findings were shocking, to say the least. They found that misconduct among cops can be predicted based on associations with bad cops accused of excessive force and never held accountable. In quotes, our findings indicate officers' peers may serve as social conduits through which misconduct may be learned and transmitted. And of course, this has already been proven through the Stanford prison experiment. And this one is Saul McLeod. And I'm not going to go through the entire thing here. I'm just going to remind the viewer here that if you don't know about it, maybe inform you. So back in, I believe it was 1973, a group of scientists were interested in finding out whether the brutality reported among guards in American prisons was due to the sadistic personalities of the guards, or disposition, or had more to do with the prison environment, situational. For example, prisoner and guards may have personalities which may conflict inevitable or make conflict inevitable, with prisoners lacking respect for law and order and guards being domineering and aggressive. Alternatively, prisoners and guards may behave in a hostile manner due to the rigid power structure of the social environment in prisons. But basically, in a nutshell, these guys took 75 applicants and did diagnostic interviews with them to eliminate candidates with psychological problems, medical disabilities and stuff like that, or a history of being in trouble with the law. So 24 men were judged to be the most physically and mentally stable, the most mature, and the least involved in antisocial behavior or behaviors, were chosen to participate. The participants did not know each other prior to the study and were paid $15 a day to take part in the experiment. So they were randomly assigned to either the role of prisoner or guard in a simulation or simulated prison environment. There were 2 reserves and 1 dropped out, finally leaving 10 prisoners and 11 guards. And they were treated like any other criminal. They were arrested from home. They were taken there and all that, fingerprinted, photographed, all that stuff. They were blindfolded and driven to the psychology department of Stanford University, where Dr. Zimbardo had the basement set up as a prison with barred doors and windows, all that stuff. Small cells, and this is where the process began. So the short of it is, the guards, even though they were not real guards, even though they had no real authority, ended up abusing the prisoners. And I could argue pretty easily that we are essentially prisoners in our country if this can happen to us. So you give these people a little bit of power, or perceived power, and they take it to the extreme. So These guards, one of them ended up sexually assaulting. It got so bad, the abuse got so bad that they had to shut down the experiment. And I would venture to say that the same thing is going to happen with the policing we have now. It's going to get so bad that people, instead of shutting down an experiment, people are going to start flipping the fuck out and, you know, inflicting their own sort of justice. But yeah, this study should not be a surprise. And, well, that's about the nutshell of it right there. If you want to see more, this article is on several different websites. So, anyway, thought I'd share this with you all. I hope all of you have a great evening, and until next time, kill the state, live free.